Good morning, BBIG family. This is part two of a two-part series. If you have not watched part one, please do so prior to watching this video as it lays the foundation. And guys, I may not be able to get to everything in part two because I was supposed to leave already to start my vacation with my daughter this weekend. So I'm going to get into a few things, but there will have to be a part three, unfortunately. And guys, all of this is very important. I will be doing part three on July 4th so that you have it in time for market open. But I am going out of state to help my dad this weekend with some stuff. So it's important I leave very soon, but I want to bring some of this to your attention right now, and the rest I will get into in part three. So please watch part one first, and have a happy 4th, everyone. Okay, I wasn't going to include this, but I feel it's very important and that everybody knows right away. So there's a person on Twitter named Sports Connection something who, guys, actually does put out some good DD, but he clearly is a short or against BBIG for some reason because his data is not correct. And being that he has great info on PSNY, on EVFM, at least for what I understood that I've read so far, I'm really surprised that his DD is so off on BBIG. But this is a rumor. It's not true. BBIG CFO sold 18 million shares. This is a disgrace to all BBIG shareholders. I can see this going to 50 cents next week. Guys, I'm going to show you the Form 4 where he's getting this information from and prove to you that it is false. Okay, this is the Form 4 that has to be reported to the SEC, guys. And this is being reported because Vinco Ventures had a spinoff of Cryptide. So, therefore, this 18,805,259 shares were part of that spinoff. As you can see, the reporting owners are Vinco Ventures, and this is not the CEO of BBIG selling off 18 million shares, guys. What this is that the transaction reported on this Form 4 relates to the distribution to the stockholders of Vinco Ventures, Inc. Vinco, of shares of common stock of Cryptide, Inc., Tide, held by Vinco effective as of June 29th, 2022. The distribution, to affect the distribution, the issued and outstanding common stock of Tide held by Vinco, consisting of 18,805,259 shares of Tide common stock prior to the distribution, was distributed by means of a pro rata dividend to the holders of record of Vinco's common stock as of May 18, 2022, other than fractional shares which Vinco stockholders received in cash in lieu of the fractional shares of Tide common stock. Okay, guys. So essentially, this is very simple. It doesn't take a genius to understand. When BBIG spun off Cryptide, they took some of the shares of BBIG, that was the value of Cryptide, which we all received in form of a dividend, and moved it over to Tide because they took part of BBIG, which is why they decreased the price of BBIG by 1/10 of the value of Cryptide per share, because they took those shares out of BBIG's shares and moved them to Tide shares, guys. That's simple as that. There's nothing funny going on here. The CEO did not sell these shares. It's BS, and please be careful who you're getting your information from and what you believe, because this couldn't be further from the truth, guys. All right, let's get into the juicy stuff here. Okay, guys, I'm going to start with this tweet and this graph from Electronomics. And if you're not following him, you should be, because he does great DD on BBIG. But as it says, BBIG extreme financial crime, manipulation to hold its pressed down versus Russell rally. In other words, they're suppressing the price of BBIG when this yellow line here is the Russell, which BBIG is part of the Russell, is moving up. BBIG should also be moving up following the same trend as the Russell. But guys, what is it doing? It's going down. And this is not just, the Cryptide spinoff. This is market manipulation, and it is a crime. And it's being documented, just so all of you are aware. And this graph actually shows perfectly the barcoding that I was talking about in my first video, part 1. Look at this, guys. Do you think that a stock naturally moves this way? In up and down barcoding? Literally, this is what barcoding is. It looks like a barcode on any package of anything you buy at the grocery store, right? That they scan. This is not normal by any means, and it is a crime, guys. So hopefully the SEC does their job for once and starts investigating this, because I truly believe that BBIG is manipulated even worse than AMC and GME. I have never in my life, for months upon months, seen a stock move like this, guys. It's absolutely nuts. The only one that comes close to it is SPIR, and if you look at that chart, you're going to see the same thing. But anyways, let's go. Crime cannot stay alive forever. It will be killed, and all of you will go behind the bars as we document your crime traces bar by bar, which is exactly what he's showing here. And guys, like I said, the Russell's rallying. You see tickers that haven't moved in months starting to go up, and what's BBIG doing? It's going down. Now, I got some more information for part 2 that I think you're going to be very intrigued by. Okay, this is the Ortex data during market hours, guys. During market hours, you'll see that the short interest increased by 1.18%. The current short interest of the free float, and this was around 3 p.m., was 23.11%. And live short interest was 40.76 million shares. Okay, guys, look at this. This is absolutely insane. So, borrowed shares. Today alone, they borrowed 4.24 million shares, guys. 4.24 million shares, okay? They returned 3.99 million shares, so that's a difference of 248.55 thousand. Guys, they're banking on them driving the price down, retail selling because they're driving it down to scare you guys into selling so then they can buy the shares back cheaper and return them. I want you to realize what's going on and think about it before you sell and take a loss on this stock. I know, guys, that it sucks seeing it at this price, but guys, I'm telling you, they can only do this for so much longer, and then it's not worth it to them. And the options chain is stacked, and I mean stacked for July 15th for the monthly options. So I firmly believe that we are going to see the stock make a run for it then. And I mean, it's up to you what you want to do. It's your money. I'll never tell you. But this is the reason I remain very bullish. And when I put all the manipulation together, I ask myself, why are they doing this, guys? And the only answer I can come up with is they are absolutely screwed. And once again, this is only what's reported. We don't have any idea how many naked shorts actually exist, but I don't care. I'm going to put it on the line. I assure you that retail owns this float, and I assure you that based on everything I'm seeing here and them continuing to pull these short exempts and add them up day after day, short exempts are naked shares, guys. Naked shares. How many times over do you think this float is sold naked shorted? There's a reason they're doing this, okay? They're screwed. All we have to do is hold, and if you can afford it, buy more. Again, choice is yours. You can sell and take the loss, but you're going to miss out, and you're going to see when it starts running. All right, look at here. Cost to borrow average, 327.35% with a max of 388.41. And I don't know, maybe some short company is selling it cheap to try to get people to short at 13.6%. But clearly you can see that that's probably one company because the average is 327.35. This is going up, guys, every day. The utilization is 100% where it's been for a very, very long time. There are no shares, guys. How they keep borrowing all these shares is a puzzling question to me because there hasn't been shares available in months and months and months. All right, now I want to show you something interesting. Look what happens after hours. And I haven't looked to see today and I don't have time right now, but this is after hours what they did. So let me pull that. Okay, suddenly, look at this. The short interest decreases after they drove the price down more after hours to its lowest point, guys. And now we see that they returned a little bit because it's changed by 0.93%. It's gone down, okay? Our short interest is still huge, 22.63%. 39.91 million shares sold short. Guys, anything over 10% is huge. So again, cost to borrow, pretty much has not changed in here, but shares borrowed 4.81 million. Shares returned now is higher because they bought it back cheaper after they scared people into selling. 5.38 million returned. So there's the negative 5.69.89. Guys, this was done after hours. They bought the shares after hours, and you'll notice that the price continued to go down after hours. But this is why, okay? So I'm showing you what they're doing for a reason. They're trying to get it as cheap as they can so that they can cover all those shorts before they run the price up. All right? Let me show you some more. Okay, guys, so Wolf of Wood Creek and the Niz have been doing a lot of DD, and this goes back to the first video and what I talked about with TikTok and Susquehanna. They did a bunch of that. So I'm gonna read this summary to you guys because I think it puts everything together that the Niz and Wolf of Wood Creek put together regarding it. If you're not following them on Twitter, I recommend you do. Hey guys, one of my tweets kind of blew up and we had a lot of good comments, so I'll try to put together a short DD here. In short, Susquehanna bought a 15 billion stake in ByteDance TikTok. That stake is now worth $60 billion. The firm's ByteDance stake, the suit says, is reportedly worth as much as $60 billion. That figure is in line with Susquehanna's 15% ownership stake as reported by the Wall Street Journal in 2020 and ByteDance's total valuation of more than $400 billion reported by Bloomberg News last fall. ByteDance paused plans last year to become a publicly traded company abroad as the social media giant and other tech companies face tighter scrutiny from Chinese officials over data security, the Journal has reported. Yas himself has a net worth of $12 billion according to Forbes. He ranked 58th on the publication list of the 400 richest Americans and as the wealthiest in Pennsylvania. Yas is also one of the biggest political donors. Okay, biggest political donors. Why do you think that Susquehanna is a big political donor, guys? Now think about that as I go forward, okay? And also think about the fact that they have a $15 billion stake in TikTok, which is now worth $60 billion, guys, and they just bought a huge position in BBIG. And I believe that they are the ones behind driving the price down to get their shares cheap because they know what BBIG is about to do. It's about to take the place of TikTok. My bet would be that they're probably going to be selling out of their position of TikTok and shorting the crap out of it on the way down and just profiting on all ends, guys. But think about this. And again, that's my personal opinion. No one wants to get sued here. It's purely speculative, but these are facts right here. Susquehanna is designated primary market maker for BBIG. Again, guys, does that sound like a conflict of interest to you? They are the market maker. They determine the prices for BBIG. Problem? I think so. This shows you who the primary market makers are, okay? All right. Susquehanna also has a stake in BBIG. Might be to lend. Gee, do you think that maybe they bought their stake to lend it out originally, and now that it's driven back down, they're going to call their lent out positions back and ride it back up, guys? I don't know, something to think about. I'll let you read the numbers for yourself, but it's in this graph here, and you can find this on Reddit, okay? I'll post some great DD finds by the NIS, guys. This is the NIS. They are using two other ByteDance investors as their clearing brokers. Susquehanna doesn't just show up as sus either. Guys, this is important. So sus is the code for Susquehanna, as what they'll show up for when you're looking at your DD. But also ETMM is also them. They own G1 Execution Services. This is every participant involved in BBIG. Perishing is also bad news. Guys, the companies in BBIG, it appears, are working together, guys, on this big plan and screwing retail in the process. And this is illegal. They cannot coordinate trading like this. Yeah, I've been working on this since April trying to find hard proof, but they are exceptionally good at covering their tracks. Most sites don't even list them as ByteDance investor, and they have a 15% ownership stake. Okay, they are also the largest option maker in the US. Ever wonder why BBIG can never get any higher OI strikes in the money? And they seem to have an endless supply of shares to throw at us to make sure of that outcome no matter what. So he's talking about the open interest here in trading options on BBIG, guys. And getting into that, clearly we see that options are back up, but also we see, and I apologize, I gave you all the information that I had, and if you watched the second video, then you heard my conversation with the OCC, and that she said it could be one of two things, and it ended up being the one that it was only closed because of the conversion and would reopen tomorrow, not the fact that what I thought and was leaning more towards that it was under $3, which I thought was their goal, and it made perfect sense to keep it under $3 to stop the option chain. But then again, think about it. They're stacked to the nines in options on the 15th. They have to pay back for all these short positions Cryptide. So what do you think they're going to do to the price before the 15th? My thoughts are, and again, who knows? It could also be to be throwing us the wrong way like they did for this week's. They have an endless supply of money, guys, but in my thoughts, it's going to run soon, and that's what they're doing and how they're going to get the shares to pay back for their shorted shares. But let's go on here. They are also on ByteDance board of directors, and they came to bail out ByteDance. They coordinated additional funding for them and helped seed TikTok. This goes deep. He's got a lot more good things to say, guys. Please check out the Niz's Twitter, because I don't have time to get into all of it, but you need to, okay? The whole thing with Susquehanna being an investor, sitting in the board of ByteDance, and also being a designated primary market maker is clearly a conflict of interest, guys. This is how they're driving the price down week after week. This is huge, huge news. And he goes on to say that he's holding no matter what and believes in BBIG. I believe in our management and I believe in our community. This goes deep, but they can't fly under the radar forever. Let's dig further together and find the truth. Guys, I promise you I'm going to do a third video on Monday, but I have to go. I'm now 30 minutes late, and I have plans. So I hope you all have a happy 4th, and stay tuned for part 3. But please check out what Wolf of Wood Creek on Reddit has to say, and please check out Twitter, what the Niz has to say. And this article it gives you a link to the Niz, or you can look on my page because I follow him, guys. Excellent DD that both of them have done, and there's more to come, I promise. Have a great 4th. Thank you again.